नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीम् उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। Vṛndāvana Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. So we are reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, third canto, third chapter, titled as Lord's Pastimes out of Vṛndāvana, text number 27. Today we will try to finish 27 and 28 verse if we can, because that is the end of this chapter, and then from tomorrow we can start the next chapter. Let's see how much we can do today. So here Uddhav ji is describing various pastimes of Lord Krishna to Vidur ji, and last time we learned when Uddhav ji described about how all the descendants of Vrishni, Bhoja and Andhaka dynasty, they went to Prabhashetra, and they took holy bath. They associated with the devotees, and after doing the rituals, they gave donation. They gave cows to the Brahmanas, lots of cows. Now further about the donation, it is mentioned what type of donation they did here in the shloka. So you can repeat the shloka after me. Hiranyam rajatam shayyam Vasamsi ajina kambalan Yanam ratham ibha kanya dharam vritti karimapi Hiranyam rajatam shayyam Vasamsi ajina kambalan Yanam rathani bhanakanya dharam vritti karimapi. Translation. The Brahmanas were not only given well-fed cows in charity, but also gold coins, beddings, clothings, animal skin seeds, blankets, horses, elephants, girls, sufficient land for maintenance. So variety of donation were given. All these charities were meant for Brahmanas, whose lives were devoted entirely to the welfare of society, both spiritually and materially. So Prabhupada ji is writing about the purpose of this charity. So why did they give this charity? They gave charity to the Brahmanas. Why to Brahmanas? Because Brahmanas at that time, they donated their life for the welfare of society in the terms of material and spiritual knowledge. The Brahmanas were not given their services as paid servants, but the society provided them with all the necessities. So there were four divisions: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Nowadays all the divisions are finished. That is called Varnashrama Dharma. Varna and Ashram. Four Varnas and four Ashramas. So what are the Ashramas? Brahmachari Ashram, Grihastha Ashram, Vanaprastha and Sannyas Ashram. And four Varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. So Brahmana's duty was to give spiritual knowledge and guide the people. But they were not paid for this, they never used to collect money for performing any of the services. But the society knew that, okay, Brahmanas are not earning, not charging for their services. So the society used to provide them all the necessities. So Brahmana's duty is to provide the spiritual knowledge without charge. No, when you charge, then it becomes business. So when you give knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam to anybody else, you should not charge about it. Why to charge money? So because it is spiritual knowledge. You cannot sell the knowledge, right? Dakshina, that is what they say, that they used to give the donation to the Brahmanas. Dakshina is donation, right? So some Brahmana comes to your place and does the puja, then Brahmana will never ask them, give me 500, 200 like that. He will say, okay, this is for Krishna, whatever you want, you can give donation. So that is the role of Brahmana. So that is why Srila Prabhupada ji never charged any of his services. Prabhupada ji never there are commercial Bhagavatam reciters who will charge like 5 lakh and 10 lakh rupees for reciting Bhagavad Katha. But Prabhupada ji said that that is not the proper way for distributing spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge should not be charged. You cannot charge money for it. It was arranged for some of the Brahmanas who were in difficulty for marriage to be given girls also. So some Brahmanas who could not get married, then they were given. Some people used to say, okay, my daughter, I'm making it, you can marry my daughter, like that. The Brahmanas therefore had no economic problems. Kshatriya kings and rich mercantile men would provide them with all that they needed. In exchange, Brahmanas were completely devoted to elevation of the society. So Brahmanas, they used to spend all their time for spiritual elevation of the society. They were never behind material. Then they can focus on the study of the Shastras. They can focus on traveling and spread the knowledge, like that. So Brahmanas were completely devoted for spiritual elevation. That was the way of social cooperation between different castes. When Brahman class or caste gradually became easygoing, being fed by the society, although they had no Brahminical qualifications, they degraded themselves into Brahma Bandhus. So now what happened then? As the age of Kali progressed further, the Brahmanas, they became lazy. Brahmana became easygoing. So Brahmana's work is to get up early in the morning by Brahma Muhurta, or then do the puja, archana, kirtanam. But then they became easygoing. So then what happened? They became lazy actually, and they stopped working, and then they degraded themselves. Some of the Brahmanas, they started abusing their position. Or disqualified Brahmanas, they were then degraded into Brahma Bandhus. Brahma Bandhus means not Brahmanas but like a friend of Brahmana. And thus other members of society also gradually fell down from social standards of progressive life. So when Brahmanas fell down, then what happened? Brahmanas usually guide Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But when the teacher is not behaving properly, so then all the people fall down. So they say yada yada acharati shrestha. And whatever the elder in the family will do, the others will follow, right? So these Brahmanas were not following the proper rules and regulations. So then everybody stopped following the rules and regulations. As described in Bhagavad Gita, the caste system is the creation of Lord and is arranged according to the quality of work rendered to the society and not in terms of birthrights, as falsely claimed in the present degraded society. So, Brahmana, somebody born in a Brahman family, not necessarily a Brahmana, or somebody born in a doctor's family, he cannot become a doctor. He has to qualify himself as a doctor. A lawyer's son cannot say, I'm a lawyer. Why? Because he has to go to law school and study. Similarly, a Brahmana's son cannot say, I am a Brahman, just because he is born in a Brahman family. He has to qualify himself. And what are the qualities of Brahmana? Sama, Dhamma, Titiksha, Arjava. So all these qualities of Brahmanas are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna clearly mentions all the different qualities of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra in Bhagavad Gita. So one has to qualify for those qualities. Then one can be a Brahmana. We study. So one has to study the Shastras, one has to be very balanced, very tolerant, very clean. In behavior, in speech, in mind, everything has to be clean. Then one can become Brahmana. Otherwise, one cannot be a Brahmana. Right? So here, Prabhupada ji explains about why the Brahmanas were given so much charity, because they were pure. They were following their dharma. Nowadays, Prabhupada ji is saying that Brahmanas are degraded, they're becoming lazy, they are not doing their work. Most of the Brahmanas nowadays, they just behind the Dakshina. But you should not worry about the money. Brahmana never had a bank balance, actually, no bank account for Brahmanas. They used to go and ask from door to door. Bhikshan, this is called Madhukari. You know Madhukari? Madhukari means that you go and ask from the house to house, and whatever the food you get, you bring it home and cook it. That is to
according to Bhagavad Gita, creation of Lord and His according to the quality of work. Caste system.
Caste system, Lord Krishna explains in 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
No caste is allowed in society.
Yeah, nowadays all the caste system is finished because everybody has become Kalo Shudra Sambhava. So in the previous ages, people were knowledgeable. So there were Brahmanas, then there were Kshatriyas, kings who used to protect. Then there used to be Vaishya class who used to look after the cows and farming. And then the Kshudras used to serve the whole society. It was just like head, chest, arms and legs. Head is compared with Brahmanas. Chest is compared with, arms are compared with Kshatriyas. Then belly is compared with the Vaishyas and legs are compared with Shudras. So these are all everybody makes complete body of the society. But then slowly and slowly everybody is doing service nowadays. Nobody is a Brahmana. Everybody does a job, right? Everybody goes for money making. So then that Shudra's job is to make money. Then Vaishya's job is to make farming, but very few people do farming nowadays. Nobody does farming, nobody looks after the cows. So Krushi Goraksha Vanijyam. So Krushi Goraksha means farming. Goraksha means protecting the cow. That is the role of Vaishyas. But then Vaishyas, they are killing cows nowadays. Many people are killing the cows, so that is not a good thing. So nobody is interested in protecting the cows. Then Kshatriya's role is to protect the society. So soldiers can be called Kshatriya class, soldiers or military class people. Now politicians nowadays, there is no king left. All the politicians, they are elected by the people. So many of them are not of good character. Not all, but I said many. So that is again a problem. And Brahmanas, nobody is there interested in giving the spiritual knowledge nowadays. So Prabhupada ji wanted to create Brahmanas, and that is why this ISKCON society is here. So ISKCON society's role is to create people who are interested in spreading the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Then slowly and slowly society will be elevated by spreading the knowledge of Vedas, Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So we have to be very responsible and we have to study this Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and somehow or other we have to revive this lost method of maintaining the whole society.
Why the material body is so full of injuries
Why material body?
Difficult.
What is that?
Material body is full of injuries and hard difficult life and disease.
Material body, that is the nature of material body, right? So material body is.
We are not in future.
Yeah, no, material body has its nature of deteriorating, so that is not a thing. Let's do the next shloka so we can finish this chapter. Further, Uddhavji is saying, Annam choro rasam tebhyo dhatva bhagavata aparpanam goviprasthavasah sura prani murdhavi. Translation. Thereafter they offered Brahmanas highly delicious foodstuffs, first offered to personality of Godhead, and offered their respectful obeisances by touching their heads to the ground. They lived perfectly by protecting the cows and Brahmanas. So here, further, all the Yaduvamshis, what did they do further? In addition to offering them all the precious items and cows and jewelry and elephants and horses, in addition, they offered them delicious prasadam. Uh, And after that, offering everything, they touched their feet. They touched their heads to the ground. They lived perfectly by protecting the cows and the brahmanas. So all the Yaduvamshis, they protected cows and brahmanas. So protecting cows, Krushi Goraksha Vadijyam. So then it is they protecting the cows is very important. Lord Krishna is described as no, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahman Hitaya Cha. So Lord Krishna is the one who likes protecting Brahmanas and cows. We say Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahman Hitaya Cha Jagatitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah. So what is the prayer says? Said Krishna protects cows and Brahmanas. And the role of Brahmana is to spread the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So that is why Krishna likes protecting Brahmanas and the cows. So Krishna is called Gopala. Gopala means one who protects the cows.
Respectful obeisances and Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Both are similar. There is no problem. So Prabhupada further explains in the purport. The behavior exhibited by descendants of Yadu in the pilgrimage site of Prabhas was highly cultured and exactly to the point of human perfection. The perfection of human life is attained by following three principles of civilization. And what are these three principles of civilization? Protecting the cow, maintaining the Brahminical culture, and above all becoming the pure devotee of the Lord. So this is very important. So when we go to any holy places, pilgrimage, then we have to pay respects to the devotees of the Lord. We have to find a devotee of Lord, talk to them, pay respects to them, give some dan dakshina, like that. And we have to protect the cows. So when we go somewhere, if we find Gaushala, we give a little donation to Gaushala. Then try to maintain Brahminical culture. So have a samadama, samcham, titiksha, arjavam, jnanam, vijnanam. All those things are very important. And above all, always worship Krishna. Without becoming a devotee of Lord, one cannot perfect one's human life. The perfection of human life is to be elevated to the spiritual world where there is no birth, death, no disease and old age. That is the highest perfection aim of human life. Without this aim, any amount of material advancement in so-called comforts can only bring defeat of the human form of life. So here in this paragraph, Srila Prabhupada is describing about the ultimate goal of human life. What is the perfection of human life? So what is the perfection of human life? In this life, we have to aim for go to the spiritual world. So this is the material world, and we have to transfer ourselves to the spiritual world, because in the material world, more we are trapped in this birth, disease, old age and death, we will be not happy. So in this life, we have to aim that we go to spiritual world. Brahmanas and Vaishnavas do not accept any foodstuff which is not offered to Krishna. So it's called prasadam. So one thing is that we should avoid any food which is not offered to Krishna. Foodstuff offered to Lord is accepted by the devotees as the mercy of the Lord. After all, the Lord supplies all kinds of foodstuff, both to the human beings and other animals. So Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that if you eat the food which is not offered to me, then it is a papa. Papa means sinful. So a human being must be conscious of the fact that all foodstuffs, namely grains, vegetables, milk, water, etc., the prime necessities of life are supplied for mankind by the Lord, and such foodstuff cannot be manufactured by scientists or materialists in the laboratory or the factory established by the human effort. So everything comes from Krishna. So it is Krishna's property. So if you want to use Krishna's property, what we have to do? We have to take a permission. If I come to your house and if I do not ask you and start grabbing the things, then that is not proper. Disrespectful, and somebody may complain also. Then the police may investigate you. So similarly, everything on the material world belongs to Krishna. And if you want to use anything, like even the water, we have to remember Krishna. If you want to eat the food, you remember Krishna. Remembering Krishna means, hey Krishna, I am taking this, please bless me. You have to take a permission and also thank Krishna for giving us everything. Because we cannot produce all these things in a laboratory. You can't produce banana in the laboratory. You cannot produce rice or grains in the laboratory. So scientists might be proud of everything achievement, but some of the basic stuff they cannot produce. The intelligent class of man are called Brahmanas, and those who have realized the absolute truth in his supreme personal feature are called Vaishnavas. So there is a difference between Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. So what is the difference? Brahmanas have all the knowledge of Shastras, and Vaishnava is the one who is completely surrendered, and he has realized that okay, Krishna is there with me. So Vaishnava is higher than Brahmanas actually. But both of them accept foodstuffs which are remnants of sacrifice. Sacrifice is ultimately meant to satisfy Yagna Purusha, Vishnu. As said in Bhagavad Gita 3.13, it is said that one who accepts foodstuffs as a remnant of sacrifice is free from all sinful reactions, and one who cooks the foodstuff for maintenance of his body takes all kinds of sin. This is what we have learned, right? We learned that Yagnartha Karmano Anyatra Karma Bandhana. So if you do whatever it is for the Yagna for Vishnu or Krishna, then everything has to be performed as a Yagna. Then it will not cause Karma Bandhana. Otherwise it will cause Karma Bandhana. And if you eat the food which is not offered to Krishna, then it is a Papa. And what does Papa leads to? जब आप पाप करते हैं तो क्या होता है? सफरिंग आती है ना? सो हम जो भी पाप करेंगे, अगर खाना भी भगवान को ऑफर किए बिना लेंगे तो हमें पाप मिलेगा. पाप मिला तो क्या? तो फिर दुख होगा. हाँ, क्या हो गया? हाँ, अगर आपने ऑफर किया बिना फूड सबको बांटा तो इट इज यू विल बी सफरिंग. The foodstuff prepared by Yadus at the Prabhas pilgrimage site to offer bona fide Brahmanas, they were all offered to the personality of God and Vishnu. Yadus offered that sincere obeisances by touching their head to the ground. The Yadus or any enlightened family in the Vedic culture are trained for attainment of human perfection by total cooperation of service between different divisions of social order. कॉपरेशन बहुत जरूरी है. वैदिक कल्चर का क्या है? वैदिक कल्चर हमारा जो है उसका क्या है? टोटल कॉपरेशन ऑफ सर्विस बिटवीन डिफरेंट डिविजन्स, है ना. तो देखिए हमारे वैदिक कल्चर में वी हैव ऑल द डिफरेंट वर्णास, आश्रमास, देयर इज वेरियस रिचुअल्स. जैसे कि अभी मकर संक्रांति है, तो मकर संक्रांति का रिचुअल में क्या है? तो हम सूर्य देवता को प्रणाम करते हैं. एक्चुअली मकर संक्रांति में सूर्य देवता की पूजा होती है. हाँ, हर एक जगह. तो सूर्य देवता क्यों करते हैं? क्योंकि सूर्य देवता ही हमें इतनी सारी चीज़ें देते हैं. सूर्य प्रकाश देते हैं. सब अन्न धान्य कहाँ से आता है? ऑल द ग्रेन्स कहाँ से आते हैं? तो अगर सूर्य ना निकले तो कुछ भी पैदा नहीं होएगा. कोई अन्न धान्य आएगा? कोई फ्रूट्स वेजिटेबल्स कुछ भी नहीं आएगा. सो ऑल दिस बिकॉज ऑफ ब्लेसिंग ऑफ सन. सो दैट इज वाई in the Makar Sankranti day, the sun enters into the northern region, northern hemisphere, and it enters into a Rashi called Makar Rashi. तो जब सूर्य मकर राशि में जाता है तो सूर्य के ऊपर की तरफ जाता है, तभी सूर्य का प्रकाश तेजस्वी हो जाता है। तो तभी जो क्रॉप्स निकलते हैं, जो अ, जो अनाज होता है वो ज़्यादा पौष्टिक, अभी तो इसलिए अभी फसल निकलती है सब जगह। ये मकर संक्रांति के दिन फसल निकालते हैं और सब पंजाब में वगैरह राइस का फसल निकलता है और ये सब जगह। तो हम देख सकते हैं कि हम भगवान के जो क्रिएशन है, रचना है, उसमें कितना सारा कोऑर्डिनेशन है। और हमारे वैदिक कल्चर में भी कैसा है कि प्रकृति के सभी इसका आदर करना, सम्मान करना। तो हम सूर्य देवता की पूजा करते हैं, इंद्र देवता की पूजा होती है, वरुण देवता की पूजा होती है, सरस्वती माता की। अभी वसंत पंचमी आएंगी तो सरस्वती माता की पूजा हो जाएगी, फिर लक्ष्मी देवी की पूजा, फिर गणेश जी की पूजा, फिर शिवरात्रि आएगी उसके पहले। तो हम देखिए कल्चर में कैसा है, तो हर एक जो रिस्पॉन्सिबल देवी देवता है उनका भी आदर सम्मान है ना। ऐसा नहीं कि हम किसी का आदर सम्मान नहीं करते। वैसे ही ब्राह्मणों का सम्मान करना, क्षत्रियों का सम्मान करना, वैश्यों का सम्मान करना, गौ का सम्मान करना, गंगा माता की पूजा करना। तो इतना सारा हमारा कल्चर यानी रिस्पेक्टफुल है। कितना हमारा वैदिक कल्चर में इतना सारा है कि खाने के पहले भगवान को ऑफर करना, फिर भगवान का नाम का स्मरण लेके प्रसाद लेना, पानी को भी भगवान को ऑफर करके लेना, सूर्य देवता को रोज सूर्य नमस्कार करना। तो हमारा कल्चर जो है वो पूरा एक परफेक्टली हार्मोनाइज कल्चर। अगर हम ठीक से इसको पालन करें तो हमें कितना कुछ सीखने को और समझने को मिल सकता है हमारे कल्चर से। ऐसा कल्चर कोई भी नहीं है। ऐसा वैदिक कल्चर देखो आप, तो देखिए आप कोई भी कल्चर दे लो दुनिया का, इसमें इतना सारा रिस्पेक्टफुल बिहेवियर कहीं है सिखाया गया है। जैसे कि उठने के पहले, धरती के ऊपर पैर रखने के पहले हम कराग्रे वसते लक्ष्मी कर मूले सरस्वती। हाँ, तो हम भगवान को कहते हैं, हम धरती के ऊपर पैर रखने के पहले धरती माता को प्रणाम करते हैं। उठने के बाद जब हम पैर रखते हैं तो पहले धरती को प्रणाम करते, कहते हैं हे धरती माता, मैं आपके ऊपर पैर रख रहा हूँ, आप मुझे माफ़ करना। और फिर फिर सुबह उठ के स्नान करना है। स्नान करते वक्त प्रेयर्स, गंगे च यमुने चैव गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदे सिंधु कावेरी जले अस्मिन् सन्निधि करो। तो आप स्नान करने के पहले सभी नदियों को याद करते हैं। फिर आप गायत्री मंत्र करते हैं, तो गायत्री मंत्र करके फिर आप सूर्य की तरफ देख के सूर्य को नमस्कार करते हैं। फिर आप भगवान का नाम का स्मरण करते हैं। फिर आप प्रसाद लेते हैं तो भगवान का स्मरण करते हैं। हाँ, तो इतनी सारी देखो चीज़ें हैं हमारे कल्चर में, क्योंकि हर एक चीज़ का सम्मान होता है। तो वर्ड uru rasam is significant here. Hundreds of delicacies can be prepared simply by the combination of grains, vegetables and milk. uru rasam इसका मीनिंग एग्जैक्टली क्या है? तो uru rasam का मीनिंग है अन्नांच uru रसम यानी हाईली डिलीशियस। तो जो भी उन्होंने अन्न बनाया, जो भी बनाया वो कैसा है? तो स्वादिष्ट। तो कैसे? तो जो भी बनाए हम प्रसाद तो इतना स्वादिष्ट होए कि तो ये देखो यहाँ पे प्रभुपाद जी uru रसम के ऊपर बता रहे हैं कि हम जो भी बनाए एकदम स्वादिष्ट। तो डेलिकेसीज कैन बी प्रिपेयर्ड सिंपली बाय combination of grains, vegetables and milk. All such preparations are in the mode of goodness and therefore may be offered to the personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.26. क्या लिखा है 9.26 में? पत्रम पुष्पम फलम तोयम यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति। ये लिखा है ना। The Lord accepts only the foodstuffs which are in the range of fruits, flowers, leaves and liquids offered, provided they are offered in complete डिवोशनल सर्विस। हाँ, सो भगवान कहते हैं पत्रम पुष्पम फलम तोयम यो मे भक्ता प्रयच्छति तदहम उपरतम अस्नामि प्रयतात्मना। तो भगवान कहते हैं भक्ति से आप मुझे जो पत्र पुष्प, फ्लावर, लीफ, वाटर, ग्रेन, आप जो भी ऑफर करेंगे मैं ले लूँगा। डिवोशनल सर्विस इज द ओनली क्राइटेरिया फॉर बोनाफाइड ऑफरिंग टू द लॉर्ड। द लॉर्ड अश्योर्स दैट he positively eats such foodstuffs offered by devotees. So, judging from all the sides, the Yadus were perfectly trained, civilized persons. ये देखो, हमें ये बनना है. हमें क्या बनना है? परफेक्टली ट्रेंड वैष्णव बनना है. तो ये हमारे जीवन का ध्येय है. जब हम पूरी तरह से अच्छी तरह ट्रेन हो जाएंगे, वैष्णव बन जाएंगे, भगवान के भक्त हो जाएंगे, ठीक से हम सब नियमों का पालन करेंगे. और जैसे कि हमारे इस्कॉन में एक है वैष्णव एटिकेट्स, एक पुस्तक है, आप गूगल करेंगे तो मिल जाएगा. वैष्णव एटिकेट, वैष्णव एटिकेट का पुस्तक है. तो उसमें क्या क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, सब लिखा हुआ है उसमें. प्रणाम कैसे करना है, तो बहुत सारा सुंदर और चीज़ें लिखी है उसमें. हाँ, मिलेगा, गूगल करेंगे तो मिल जाएगा. तो ये हमारा जीवन का ध्येय है कि हम पूरे सिविलाइज्ड हो जाए थोड़े ठीक से. And their being cursed by Brahmana sages was only the desire of Lord. The whole incident was warning to all concerned that no one should behave lightly with Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. जब आपको कोई ब्राह्मण और वैष्णव मिले तो बड़ा रिस्पेक्टफुल आदर से उसके साथ मान सम्मान करना है. किसी का अपमान न हो जाए हमारे से, नहीं तो मुश्किल आ सकती है. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose of third canto, third chapter Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam entitled The Lord's Pastimes after Vṛndāvana. तो हमने थर्ड कैंटो थर्ड चैप्टर फिनिश कर दिया. अभी कल से हम चौथा चैप्टर चालू कर सकते हैं. उसका है विदुर अप्रोच इज मैत्रेय ऋषि. तो ये इसमें बहुत सुंदर है. आगे जब विदुर जी ज़्यादा प्रश्न पूछते हैं उद्धव जी को, तो उद्धव जी कहते हैं काम करिए, मैत्रेय ऋषि वहाँ बैठे हैं, वो भी थे वहाँ पे मेरे साथ, तो आप जरा उनसे भी थोड़ा पूछिए, सब मुझे ही मत पूछिए. तो बहुत सुंदर संवाद है विदुर मैत्रेय संवाद. तो कल से वो चालू करेंगे. रुद्राज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय.